Well, I left off earlier was we was going to discuss building a better you. What does building a better you look like? First of all, it starts with you cannot be discouraged with somebody telling you what you can or can't do. With me growing up, like I said, I had no doctor friends around. The most close person I had to me that I knew that was a doctor was a dentist that I grew up with. Good friend of mine, Kirk Sewell. He was the only colleague, friend, someone in my area. And he was going back and forth to school in a different part of New York. I think he went to Pittsburgh. And he didn't even know he was kind of an inspiration to me. I was like, okay, somebody I grew up with is a doctor, a dentist. So I said, let me go ahead with that. But as I said, I didn't know any doctors growing up. So the motivation was, what do I do this? How do I move on? As I said earlier, growing up in the late 80s, 84, 85, 86, on Long Island, when I used to come outside, crack epidemic was just hitting. It was going real hard. So when we came out, we saw everybody with the big gold chains on, the medallions, and you either took one or two parts. You said, I'm getting down with them, or you were going to wind up being, as they call it, a fiend. And we didn't really know what substance abuse was at that time, because we would come from an era of smoking weed, drinking 40s, Old English. Our older brothers, sisters, fathers rather, had did Vietnam, and they came back off of that black tar heroin. So we knew in the late 80s, we ain't gonna mess with that. Heroin, we ain't messing with that. That's why in today's time, in 2021, 22, 23, for that heroin to circle back around, my generation, we missed that. Because that crack cocaine had came through, from California and then hit New York, and we didn't know what it was, so it kind of took us, by storm. But either in those days and time, you either had the big gold chains on and was getting that money, going to Dapper Dan's, getting fly, or you was on the other side of that, or you was a civilian, as they say. You played no part in that. I played a little bit of both sides. I experimented with it, saw what it was, and then when I was about 21, I wound up going to a fellowship, Narcotics Anonymous, and ever since then I haven't had a drink, a drug, anything over 25 years, and that basically put my mind on it in a different trajectory to better myself and to better my life. And one day I was in a rehab working, because I'm also a certified New York State substance abuse counselor. So I was in a rehab and working, and a young lady said to me, one of my clients, she said, Doc, it doesn't look like you have any, experience using drugs. And then I thought about it. No, I wasn't out there for year in and year out and 5 and 6 years, using drugs. I experimented with cocaine, crack cocaine, and from like 18 to 20, when I saw where that was taking me, I said, nah, this ain't something I want to do, and I backed out of it. So the experience of the feeling of all of this, the nothingness, the hopelessness, when it came to that, I experienced that. So now turning it around, I'm saying, where am I going with my life? Now I'm clean, I'm 21, 22, put that behind me. Still thinking about putting my foot back in the game, because I said, I heard monkey can't sell bananas, but I'm different. They call me original. So I said, I'm going to do this though, regardless, until you keep finding yourself in situations and them beautiful Christmas lights behind you. And, and I just started feeling like, that wasn't going to cut it. So my trajectory of life was, I ran to school. I ran to school up in State Del High, Suffolk Community College, Nassau Community College, Norfolk State University. And I was kind of moving around, always seeking for knowledge, always trying to better myself, always trying to figure out where I was going to go with it. Got in trouble, sent to prison, upstate New York for a minute. Some people, don't say, you could Google that, weapons possession and all that. And I say that because that's a part of who I am. And getting that New York State license, I had to answer for all of that. Getting on an insurance platform, because it's going to be a box, right? And that box is going to say, in the last 10 years, have you ever been convicted of a felony? You're going to say no, because it's been a long time. Another box is going to open up. And that box is going to say, have you ever been convicted of a felony? And unfortunately, a lot of us are going to have to check that. And then it's going to say, please explain. And that's when that discouragement comes in. That's when this is where you need somebody that's around you or that knows some move that's going to tell you, yo, man, keep it moving, man. Keep going. Pursue your dreams. Because then we talk about recidivism, which is returning back to the type of crime that you would have done. Now, we're going to have to say, you know what, man? I'm done with that. I did that. I paid my time for that. Let's move on. Let's keep it going. All right? So as I move forward, you know what I'm saying? Now, here I am, colleged up, associates or bachelors, trying to move forward. And, I wound up landing, as I told you on the last video, I wound up landing at Def Jam as the urban street promoter. So now I'm doing this promotion, and I want more out of that. But I'm realizing that I'm not a rapper. I'm not a singer. I can't dance. I can't get on the production board. Got it. I'm going to do the promotions. I'm going to be the best promoter I can. I'm going to hand out them flyers with confidence. I'm going to put up them poster boards with confidence. I'm doing all of this on the move. I'm doing all of this with the greatest of confidence that, yo, I'm the best at it. And there were other street teams out there, especially in New York. You know what I'm saying? My partners that I was with, I haven't talked to them and cleared their name, but that Def Jam street team, we was mean. Bad Boy, they had a street team. You know what I'm saying? It was time where we was going to events. It was funny. It'd be an event at Justin's, and Young Jeezy would be coming through in Boys in the Hood, but he also was signed at Def Jam. And it was almost like it got real out there. It got real out there because it was up to us to promote our artists at Def Jam and have those posters. Those memories and those times, I can't take them back. It was a job at the time, but it was also fun. And they sent us all over the world, man. Anywhere in America where it was an event that had something to do with music, with Rihanna, Jeezy, Neo. At that time, Kanye had just came on deck then. We were just, we was living and having fun from behind the scenes. And some of y'all saw our work that we did, but we kept going. I fast forwarded again. The internet pops up, and that pulls back away from the marketing street team that what I was doing. So once that was pulled back, it became, what am I going to do? So I got this little degrees from accumulating them over my life, and I said, well, I'm going to have to keep doing something. That's when I went back to Long Island, said, let me get this degree in substance abuse counselor and move on. When I got that, I realized that wasn't enough. So now I got a bachelor's, associates, and a KSAT. I said, I know what I'm going to do. And coming up from the 5% Nation, studying 120 and reading things off cap was nothing to me. So when they put the books in front of me for the master's degree, I wanted to become magna cum laude, graduating with straight A's in a PhD program. Then it was time to write that dissertation. And some people don't understand, how did I get here? It was some things that I did that I didn't want to do again. That motivation, that I needed, them people that was around me. You know what I'm saying? The brothers that was saying, yo, Doc, yo, you, yo, God, yo, you could be more than that. And then I'm still trying to find my lane and figure out what am I going to do? So I didn't surround myself, even today. If I feel the energy that's not there, that like you don't got love for me or you don't want to see me move forward, I really can't entertain it too much. I try not to have any frivolous conversation too long. Time management. We got to look at, when you wake up in the morning, do yourself this favor too. Start to try to do this. Who's the first person you call? Or who's the first person that texts you? Look at it and say, what was the purpose of that? Because I went through the phone ring, you, and then back and forth. Like we waiting for the other shoe to drop and nothing happened. I don't have the luxury of wasting time right now. Every moment counts, every minute counts. And I see people get angry for the money they didn't get for the work they didn't put in. And it's out here, man. And it's more than a Pyrex pot. It's more than baking soda. It's what much, because as people are telling everybody, the other side of that, when you get there, yes, it gets ugly. And we hear these brothers talk about in and out of jail. Touch this real quick. Everybody in jail is not the predator. Someone is the prey. So when you hear 100 people in the room say they was all in jail, so somebody got the short end of that stick. So guess what's the way around that? Don't go. Don't go. Pick up a book. Come on. I got a degree, I got a PhD, and I have my experience. and I ain't have to go to jail, and I'm not going back. I got some babies that I'm going to raise. I don't need New York State government to raise them. You know what I'm saying? I got a woman in my life that I'm going to be there for her. Yeah, look, you know what I'm saying? You can see people all around you, but that dedication, if you don't give it up to somebody, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? You get out of it what you put it in. And I was watching this podcast the other day, and it said, when you're in a relationship with a woman, right? It said, give her your all. Because if you give her grief, she don't give you that. You go get that money and cook that food, she's supposed to, you know, if you go get the money, she's supposed to cook the food. You give her, you know what I'm saying, you get her pregnant, she gonna have that baby. So it's like we run around looking everywhere else for some things is right there for us. Then when the bad news happens, when they get ugly, we set her up, she gotta answer our phone call. She getting locked up with us too, because she can't go out. She gotta wait for your phone call. She gotta come visit you with your kids when there was a decision. Making a better you. This is what this whole thing is about. How? Each one teach one. You might not do what the next man do, but you could ask the next man, yo, bro, how'd you get that? You know, you inspire me. Yo, I dig what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Dr. Ulysses Jackson, building a better you. And if there's some tips you got for the next man, go ahead and pass it on. All right? Thank you.